Trash, trash, trash! Your anime's trash! Hey, how's it going? It's Cali here, and if you couldn't tell, I'm sick. Meaning I look gorgeous and my voice is at this sexy new register. Hello. And you know, I think this is a video I could only make while I'm sick, because I don't know if I'd make it otherwise. Maybe you'll pity me and you'll be like, there, sweet child, she's sick. That's why she's saying these things. Either way, today I'm listing 5 anime that I really like that other people thought was trash. So let's begin. The first one on my list, and by far the worst offender, is an anime called Crossing. From its very first episode, you can see where this show is going to go, and by go, I mean crash and burn. But it definitely intrigued me enough to watch that collision. The show is about Princess Angelis, who lives in this magic user utopia of sorts, and it is found out that on the day of her coronation, that she is in fact a muggle!
Muggle?
Non-magic folk.
And then she's dethroned in more ways than one, and then shipped off to where all the other muggles are in order to protect this magic user utopia from dragons while learning the values of teamwork, friendship, and the benefits there are to not dehumanizing people. What? Who knew? And that's really grazing the top of what this series has to offer, and I would go into that more, but that would take away one of the show's strongest points, cheap shock value! Which in this show is hilariously entertaining because they will literally throw anything at you and call it a plot twist. But even though I enjoyed this show, I don't think it's one that I'd ever recommend, mainly because I think you'd be spending your time watching much better anime. But one thing's for sure, at least in my opinion, there really is never a dull moment because you're just like, what the heck are they gonna pull out of the hat next? Number 2 is actually one of my all-time favorites, and I've never met a person who has watched the show in its entirety and liked it. And it is Mawaru Penguin Drum. The story starts out with the Takakura family enjoying a lovely outing at the aquarium because their younger sister, Himari, is very, very sick, and she was given a temporary release from the hospital, and her brothers wanted to do something nice for her by taking her out for the day. But unfortunately, something very tragic happens to Himari, but fortunately, a mysterious being comes along and kind of possesses her. And what do you know? Himari's health is solid. Nevertheless, everything comes at a price, and that price is the elusive and mystifying penguin drum, which the brothers decide to go out and find in order to save their sister. And the only clue they have to finding this penguin drum is a diary that lies in the hands of a mysterious young girl who has her own motivations for the use of the penguin drum. Now, I can see why the show gets a lot of flack, right? For something that's pretty philosophically heavy, its logic can be inconsistent, even more so altered to fit a plot point and then later disregarded. However, with all that said, Mawaru Penguin Drum is not like a regular anime. It's an extremely allegoric piece of work, which I'd say takes viewing it with an active symbolic lens, meaning you're gonna need your brains for this, kids. Because watching the show passively is only just gonna make the show seem more odd and cryptic than it already is. But I really enjoy the show because of its execution of it all, right? Because everything in the show is intentional. From what you hear to when you hear, from the angle of the shot, from the colors that are being used. Honestly, the show to me is a magnificent piece of work. Not saying that it's perfect by any means, but I just wish it got a little bit more love and due credit that I think it deserves. Number 3 is a short film called Hal, which circles around this girl named Kurumi who's become depressed after her boyfriend Hal had died in a sudden accident and has since secluded herself from the rest of the world. Her family, wanting to shed some light into her life, sends over a human-like android that looks exactly like Hal, and surely but slowly she begins to open up. But lurking truths remain amidst their budding relationship, and not everything is as it seems. I think what initially attracted me to this film is that the character designer is Io Sakisaka, who is the creator of one of my all-time favorite shoujo manga, Blue Spring Ride, aka Aoharu Ride. And I wish this film held a candle to her works, but she didn't write it, so I'm okay with that. However, I don't think it's as bad as some people made it out to be. I mean, sure, some of the characters could have been fleshed out more, and the overall story does seem a little bit rushed at times, and okay, it's not like the best anime film I've ever seen, but I still think it delivers a touching story about acceptance and just moving forward in life. Not to mention the animation is just downright gorgeous, and the soundtrack complements the themes and atmosphere of each scene very, very well. Overall, I thought it was a delight to watch. And can we talk about that ending though? I mean, we can't because that would just be a major spoiler, but did it get you in the feels where you're just kind of like, ugh, or were you just like not stunned by it? Because I did not see it coming. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, but keep it spoiler free. Number 4. I had so much hope for this series. It was one of those shows that had so much potential and just left it up there. That's not to say that the overall product was horrible or anything. It's just that I can agree with the masses when they say that it's one that could have been so much better. But it's a series that I loved nonetheless, and it is Eden of the East. The story starts off with our main girl, Saki Morimi, a recent college grad who has taken a trip to America with some of her friends as a college graduation trip. And after quite an interesting misunderstanding, she is saved by our main protagonist, Akira Takizawa, who finds himself naked in front of the White House holding a gun and a cell phone that is loaded with 8 billion yen, which is roughly like $75 million. And what's worse is that he's suffering from amnesia and has no idea how he got there or of his past in general. But unbeknownst to them, they have been intricately wrapped into a game that will decide the fate of a nation. Pretty intriguing start, am I right? If I were to recommend this series to anyone, I'd only recommend watching the 11-episode series run and not the 2 movies, because I was one of those people who was so hyped for the movies because I was thinking,
man, this is gonna be great. You know, it's gonna cover some plot holes. You're gonna tie up the series in a nice little bow. It's gonna be great. And it did. Oh, such
thing. Like, the movies covered some stuff, but not enough to make you feel like fulfilled.
So cool, yet so disappointing.
But I can't write off the series as a whole because it just has this knack for captivation. It kept me on my toes the entire time as the stakes got higher or grimmer and you found out more about their characters and their motivations for doing what they do. It's just one of those shows that just makes you want more, and it does that well. And it truly did attempt to explore a very interesting yet
overly broad and ambitious question.
If you had the means to change the nation for the better, how would you go about doing that? I just wish it had done a little bit more exploration and ended on a much higher note, but nonetheless, I enjoyed the ride. And last but certainly not least, and I don't understand why this show doesn't get the love that it deserves. Actually, I do, because comedy is subjective. Because the show is so funny, and it is Baka and Test. Whenever I'm recommended a comedic anime, generally speaking, instead of watching it subbed, I'll watch it dubbed. Because frankly, when it comes to comedy, a lot of stuff just gets lost in translation, and if I compare it, I'll watch it dubbed. And Baka and Test definitely exceeded my expectations. The story surrounds high school student Akihisa Yoshi and his time at school as he tries to make it to the top for his crush. It kind of reminds me of that newer anime Classroom of the Elite, except Baka and Test is a lighthearted, fun comedy and not a philosophical drama. Like Classroom of the Elite, Baka and Test Academy is set up in an academic caste system, if you will, where the brightest prodigies are in Class A, featuring reclining chairs, state-of-the-art technology, and complete with air conditioning. And on the other side of that spectrum, Class F hilariously features cardboard boxes for desks and worn-out floor mats for seats. And for Aki and his classmates to climb up the academic ladder, they must compete in test wars, where they can essentially summon a familiar of sorts that is fueled by their test scores and battle against the other classes. One of the reasons I love this show so much is because it knows full well how basic it is, right? With its basic premise and its basic trope-like characters, it just has fun with it and just runs with it. This isn't a show where I had to like think critically or analyze every little thing. It's literally a no-brainer comedy where it's just making fun of people's like heightened everyday quirks. And surprisingly, there's a lot of depth in this silly, refreshing show. You know, as they say, there's a little truth in every JK. And that's a wrap for this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I truly appreciate it. As always, what are some of the animes that you like that other people just didn't like? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and stay tuned for more anime and otaku-esque stuff coming your way. And hey, if you like this video, please let me know by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And that's it for me. Thank you again for sharing a part of your day with me, and I hope the rest of your day is intriguing. Until next time, and hopefully I'm not sick. say that the overall product, my voice, hello? My voice is just gonna be damaged. Like, I should be on vocal rest, for real though.